does Mike McGlinchey think of Broncos rookie quarterback Bo Nix? A veteran and the rookie. What's the idea around it? Welcome into your Denver Sports Daily for July 30th. How is that even possible, everybody? Let's go.
Taking you through your morning headlines, it's Denver Sports Daily with Rachel V. Hill.
First of all, I cannot believe it's July 30th. That's literally insane to me. August is right around the corner, which means football is closer and closer to getting started. But a guy like Mike McGlinchey, somebody who has so much leadership in the locker room, somebody who is so well-spoken, well, anytime he speaks, you are definitely listening because he's going to, one, give you a real answer, which we appreciate here in the media. But two, he's not going to, shy away from saying anything that could disappoint people. But that is definitely not the case when it comes to Broncos quarterback Bo Nix. Take a listen.
He's learned fast on the job, and he's a very competitive dude, and he takes a lot of pride in not screwing things up, or if he does once, he's not going to do it again. He takes the little small details, such as like the cadence. It's tough when he's always coming out, asking me, asking the rest of us, hey, how can I do that better? How can I do this better? Bo's been an impressive person in our locker room, both as a player. I think he's picking things up incredibly fast and doing a great job. But as a competitor and as a teammate, he's done a great job too. So I think Bo's on the right track. I think he's gonna take the coaching that he's gonna get. He's got some of the best in the world helping him out, and I think he's gonna do great things for us.
Make sure you tune in to Coffee Break at 12 p.m. today because I actually have a really fun story about Mike McGlinchey and Bo Nix and what I saw out at practice yesterday. In case you have not been watching Coffee Break, I have been recapping everything that you need to know and mostly some of the things that aren't necessarily talked about in the highlights and just little things that I've noticed here and there out at practice. So definitely make sure you tune in. But like I said, a really good story, Mike McGlinchey, Bo Nix during Coffee Break today, 12 p.m. Now, Elway was the general manager for the Broncos from 2011 to 2020. And things started off with a huge bang. Obviously, you have Tim Tebow leading the Broncos to a playoff win after a magical season. Then Peyton Manning came to town for 4 amazing years that was capped by an elite defense that Elway assembled, plus helping the Broncos win Super Bowl 50. And then after that, it felt like things went really south with John Elway and the team. He could never find Manning's replacement at quarterback, most famously getting burned by first-round bust Paxton Lynch in the 2016 NFL draft. And then 2 years later, Elway had a chance to correct that mistake. Wyoming's Josh Allen was on the board at number 5 overall, but Elway went with pass rusher Bradley Chubb, which, don't get me wrong, we all love Bradley Chubb. He was great for his time here in Denver, but it could never compare to what could have happened if the Broncos would have got Josh Allen and he would have succeeded here. Allen has the Buffalo Bills in the Super Bowl conversation every single year that he's been in the NFL, while the Broncos haven't made the playoffs in 8 straight seasons. And many think that's Elway's biggest mistake as Denver's GM, not selecting Allen. And he actually agrees. In a recent interview that dropped on Monday, Elway told the guys from Pardon My Take that is indeed the case. His biggest mistake was not getting Josh Allen. It's a really good interview. Definitely take a listen. We do not have the rights to share it with you here on Denver Sports Daily, but I brought this up with James Marilat yesterday about, what was John Elway's biggest mistake? Is that it is, how is John Elway in the GM conversation? Is he one of the greatest? And James, of course, had a wonderful answer. Take a listen. John Elway, what grade do you give him as a GM?
I'd give him an A. He went to 2 Super Bowls. He got Peyton Manning here. They won a championship. That's an A. I don't care what happened in the last 5 years. The first 5 years were so good. He gets an A.
Him landing Peyton Manning definitely gives him a boost for sure.
It's the greatest free agent acquisition of all time.
It was amazing.
I mean, that you did that. You put together a team that had, their 2012 team was probably the best of the bunch.
So fun.
2013, the greatest offense of all time.
Yep.
Manning wins MVP. They go to the Super Bowl. They lose, but they go to the Super Bowl.
Yep.
2 years later, they go to the Super Bowl with a completely remade team.
Yep.
They were the greatest offense in football in 2013.
Greatest
By 2015, That's the best defense in the last 20 years.
Yeah.
That's done on Elway's watch. Listen, if somebody said right now, you can have a 5-year run like we had the first 5 years of Elway, and then after that, you're going to have 5 terrible years. Would you take it?
Well, it's the same conversation that people always bring up. They're like, would you rather be in the playoffs every single year but never win the Super Bowl, or like not be a playoff team but win a Super Bowl one of those years? And I'd rather win the Super Bowl.
Of course.
It's like a dumb question to even ask anymore.
Yeah. Would you rather date Kate Beckinsale for a year and then have to be single for a year? Yes. Sign me up.
Sign me up.
Who wouldn't say yes to that proposition?
I'm totally with you. So I always find those conversations fascinating because people are like, well, you would have like 10 good years of happiness. But I'm like, but you never get the end goal.
No, I don't. Yeah, I'm not shooting for a 7.
Yeah.
Right? Like in life, right? Like then you just, no, I'd rather have the extremes.
100%.
Right? Now we've had
and
them
we
here.
are in it.
We've had them and we've had the trough.
Yep.
And I'm about over the trough. I'm well over the trough.
Yes, me too.
But if before Manning signed here, if
Yep.
the deal was you're going to get 4 amazing years, arguably the greatest 4-year stretch in the history of the franchise,
Mm-hmm.
but you're going to have 8 terrible years after it, I probably would have signed up for it.
I probably would have too.
Now there's an end game. If it turns into 9 years, 10 years, a dozen years, like, okay, that's too much.
Yeah.
But if it turns around right now, I would have made the deal with the devil for sure.
Now, speaking of the Buffalo Bills, they have somebody that Broncos country will know very, very well. They have signed veteran safety Kareem Jackson to a 1-year contract, addressing a need in their safety room following an injury to Mike Edwards. Jackson is a 15-year NFL veteran, which is hard to believe. He previously played for the Houston Texans and the Denver Broncos. Obviously, there was a lot of drama that happened with the Denver Broncos last year. He was seeing disciplinary reasons for sort of hits, all sorts of stuff, getting fined thousands and thousands of dollars. He gets released, let go to the Houston Texans, which personally I think worked better for him. He got to see the playoffs last year with CJ Stroud being incredible. And now he lands with Buffalo Bills, who, of course, like we mentioned in the last story, he probably will be in the Super Bowl conversation to go again. So I wish, obviously, all the best to Kareem Jackson. We've had him here on Coffee Break before, which is amazing. Great dude. But it is interesting that although it probably comes at a much cheaper price tag, Kareem Jackson gets signed and Justin Simmons has not. I don't know. What do you guys think? There is some rumors and talk starting to happen that Justin Simmons doesn't get signed anywhere and the Broncos do possibly need a safety if Brandon Jones can't get healthy, then maybe, just maybe, Justin Simmons could come back. I don't know. We'll have to see. But again, congratulations to Kareem Jackson. Another person that we're talking about that has nothing to do with the Denver Broncos now, essentially Rashad Penny. He's a former running back for the Seattle Seahawks and Philadelphia Eagles, has announced his retirement from the NFL at the age of 28 years old. We just saw another guy in Michael Gallup do the exact same thing. Rashad Penny was signed with the Carolina Panthers. They just placed him on the reserve/retired list following his decision. And Penny's retirement comes after a career that saw him play 5 seasons with the Seahawks before a brief stint with the Eagles, like I did mention. Congratulations to Rashad Penny. He had a really, really good career. I know a lot of people were excited about his play, but he decides to hang it up. So again, congratulations to him. And I hope he gets to enjoy his a little bit of off time. Maybe we'll see him in the booth at some point. Who knows? We will switch over to the NBA now because the Denver Nuggets offseason took a little bit of time to take some shape. We can say that nicely, but eventually Calvin Booth's plan was in fact revealed. Let's just go through everything that has happened with the Denver Nuggets since they got bounced from the playoffs. First of all, Calvin Booth let Kentavious Caldwell-Pope leave in free agency toward the Orlando Magic, but he did add Dario Saric to back up Nikola Jokic, which has been a need for a long time. Then they landed Russell Westbrook to play behind Jamal Murray, which was obviously a huge factor in hopefully making this bench a little bit better. Booth also added Deron Holmes the second in the first round of the NBA draft, but unfortunately the rookie tore his Achilles in his first NBA Summer League game, and he is out for the year. But none of that has impressed folks from around the league. In a survey with 18 coaching scouts and executives dropped on Monday by ESPN, the Nuggets were voted having the quote-unquote worst offseason of any NBA team. Yep, you heard that right. The worst offseason. Denver received 6 of its 18 votes. The Chicago Bulls got 5. The Los Angeles Clippers earned 4. The Los Angeles Lakers, New York Knicks, and Detroit Pistons each received 1 vote. 2 participants also said that KCP to the Magic was the best move of the offseason. And also the Nuggets losing Caldwell Pope to Orlando received 2 votes for the worst move in the offseason category. So, I mean, losing KCP definitely hurt. I have been very vocal about that, how I didn't love it. I wish they would have kept it. They could have matched any offer for KCP, yet they didn't do it, and we will never know why. But the worst offseason, hopefully they can, say to all of those coaching scouts and executives, it doesn't matter because we have Nikola Jokic, and the moves we did helped him more. And hopefully the Nuggets can get back to winning another championship. So we will see. But yeah, right now, worst offseason, and I have to kind of agree with them. On to the MLB we go. Let's go. A second Rockies trade with their bullpen went into the books on Monday. Colorado sent left-handed reliever Jalen Beeks to the Pittsburgh Pirates in exchange for left-handed pitcher Luis Peralta. This Rockies trade comes 2 days after the team sent Nick Maris to Milwaukee in exchange for a pair of minor league relief pitchers. It would come as no surprise if the Rockies would at least make one more deal before the Tuesday deadline. I believe that is at 6 p.m. Eastern Time, 4 p.m. Mountain Time today. And the rumors continue to swirl around catcher Elias Diaz, last year's All-Star Game MVP. You just never know what the Rockies are doing, to be completely honest with you. It kills me to see good talent be able to walk away, but of course, they're not a very good team, so you're just trying to add to the depth for years to come. I feel like we've been having these exact same conversations with the Rockies over and over and over again. But hey, we'll see what ends up happening. All right, let's talk Olympics, because it's still that time of the year and it has been so much fun to keep up with everything. But the U.S. women's national basketball team made a dominant showing in their first game in the Paris Olympics. Team USA defeated Team Japan 102-76, and the game was a rematch of the gold medal game in the Tokyo Olympics, which took place in 2021 due to the coronavirus pandemic. But since the 1992 Olympics, Team USA's women's basketball team is 56-0. How freaking cool is that? We'll move on to men's gymnastics now, because the men's team won bronze in the team competition on Monday. That was July 29th. It's the first time that USA's men's gymnastic team had medal at the Olympics since 2008. South Korea. Now, if we take a look at the standings and how many gold medals we have, the U.S. has moved down to 6 because South Korea has jumped into that number 5 spot. So yes, they do have the most total medals with 20 as of right now. But of course, you want the most gold medals. That's also what counts. So come on, USA. We need to see you really pump up and give us some gold medals. I know Simone Biles, I believe, is competing today. I have not looked at the schedule, but I've seen everybody talking about her. So hopefully we can see some good stuff coming out of that. But let's get some more gold medals, shall we, Team USA? Real quick. Let's see. Good morning, Rachel. No surprise to me that he made a draft pick. Let's see. I know it was only 1 day in pads, but the O-line better get better because it didn't look good yesterday. Roy, were you out there at practice? I'm very, very curious. The defensive line has been absolutely smoking the offensive line. And I talk about this a lot in Coffee Break of how the defense looks really, really solid, which is why if you're Justin Simmons, I know there's like some bad blood there. There has to be at this point, but why not have that, jump back? You don't have to move your family. You don't have to do anything. You can get probably $5, $6, $7 million to go back to the Broncos. I'm kind of here for it. We'll see if Brandon Jones can get healthy, of course, but I think it would be kind of cool. Does Jake still watch behind the scenes? I used to love when he jumped in with an opinion on one of your hot topics. Jake hasn't been my producer now for quite some time. We have Trey behind the scenes. He's a CSU Ram. He's done amazing work for us, so I really appreciate him. But Jake is actually in Paris on his honeymoon right now for the Olympics, so make sure you're following him over on social media. It's been really cool to see all of the stuff he's been doing. I know he comes back relatively soon. The 3 weeks he's been gone has been crazy, but I'm excited for him as well. But you guys, that's going to do it. I'm headed off to practice. Wish me luck, because I believe the high is 99 today, so I'm going to be sweating out there, but not as much as the guys obviously in pad. So appreciate you all so very much, and we will see you 12 p.m. Coffee Break, recapping everything you need to know from yesterday's practice, including things not that much talked about in the headlines, and then we'll be back again tomorrow 10 a.m. with another episode of Denver Sports Daily. Bye, guys.